because you're establishing another government entity. And I think in a pure situation, that's probably the way it should be. But after this failed last year, Banks and I, along with Dave and everybody else that's involved, felt the result of what had happened. And we put together a dog and pony show, and we went here and we went there, and we begged and we borrowed and we did whatever to try to come up with some money to save this thing in the short term. I can't afford to do that this year, because you get faced with a situation as a commissioner, if it disappears, if it just flat disappears, and there's a call, and one of you loses a loved one, be it a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a sister, a brother, or a child, I don't want the responsibility of sitting in commissioner's court and have someone pointing their finger at me and say, Commissioner, if you'd done your job, my mama would be alive. I can't let that happen. We're going to have a reverse situation this year as to what it was that we had last year. Last year we had it in May, and we had very few people turn out because it was a special election. This year it's in November, and there are going to be people turning out that don't know an ESD from a teepee. And they're going to be there to vote for Mr. Obama or for Romney, one way or the other, and the ESD is going to be secondary. Now, you'll vote for the president and everyone else, and then you'll go vote for the ESD, so not everyone who votes is going to vote for the ESD. I take it...
Same ballot or different ballot?
It'd be a different ballot. And you'll have to explain to them where you live, because there will be ballots for inside of the city and outside of the city, so you'll have to define where you live so they can give you the right ballot. I take it everyone that's here this evening is in support of the ESD. You need to communicate it. Don't just say, I'm going to go vote and that's going to get it done. You're going to have to tell your friends and your enemies and your neighbors and people at church and everywhere else that they need to get out and vote for this. This is not, in my opinion, this is not going to solve all the problems or I'm more of an opportunity person, all of the opportunities that we have to make EMS better, but it's going to take a giant step forward. I don't think there will be enough money to cure all the ills, but from the standpoint of the cost of training and stipends and other areas, it'll certainly take it a lot further. And from the standpoint of, if it passes this time, quite frankly, from an EMS standpoint, you need to be grateful that it didn't pass last year, because the one that we attempted last year was for EMS and fire. And so that was 10 cents that could be split, or that would have to be split between EMS and fire. This is 10 cents that will go to EMS. Not that fire isn't important. And I differ with one thing you said. You said, to everyone earlier, you may not need an ambulance. If you're going to live here long enough, you're going to need an ambulance. I've never needed one, thank God. My dad needed one. You were there. I remember that day. And communicate that to people. You may not need it now, but you're going to need it then. And it's not a large amount when you consider what it can do for you. And that's all I have to say.